Okay, so it's gotten to that other level where it's like I'm sick of looking at this. Was gonna go through the process and go do a photocopy of it when I got out and around, and then apply corrections on the direct inks. Using a little whiteout to get in some of those crack shadows that got bleeded over and all that. And then I thought about it, like, what am I talking about? This, from the get go, this is all this is anything but bourgeois over here, folks. I mean, look at the cheapness of the paper, for one. Like I said, I have plenty of quality paper or whatever, but I got going on it, and it's on there. And plus, using a ultrafine Sharpie, bleeders, bleeder pens all over the place. So I decided that while I'm at it, why not just keep, you know, keep within that vein and go ahead and apply the colors with what? Just normal stationery. I just decided to draw, apply the colors directly on here, and all you're really looking at is, well, all it is just pencil crayons and markers. As you can tell, it's just a real straightforward technique. For the hair, we got a plain old, big old fat orange marker. For the line work in the hair, just tracings of it, putting in the orange that you can see there. And then I took my yellow hue from a pencil crayon and just colored out the blondness of the hair, like so. That's all that is. Okay? Chose my flesh tone and applied it to the back figure entirely. Used a deeper flesh tone and just roughed out the line work there with that other tone to provide an idea of shading. Now, the middle figure, what I did is I decided to continue the line up the middle of the face in order to pull off that, pseudo Wollywood Stranko Galassi idea. Not by any means comparing myself to them, but that idea that we were talking about, the one that I was affected by in the background when I was drawing this, with the black shading in the middle of the face, which would divide the face in a way, it would put the head in a position where the application of a double light source might be a good idea for whatever reasons, whether it's deliberate or whether or not it's by mistakes that you want to detract from. For me, I think it's a little bit of both. I'm not sure which, but I decided to just do it. I thought, okay, when it comes to the bands, I'll make, okay, the bands themselves aren't, when he's, I wanted to indicate that they were very shiny, but they're not like a spotlight or something. So, I decided to show the shine on the face using the same yellow that's found directly in the bands, and then apply it here in some side by side with some blank, with some white. Do the crack shadow, the same thing. Apply it to the clear highlights on the peeled down cowl. A little bit on the gloves, same idea. And just split that so the light's shining up part of his face, casting weird shadows on the other side of the face. That's all I did with that. The black portions of the uniform and the gloves, basic. Just took a big old fat blue marker and colored in the bulk of the blank space, meaning the white areas of the glove that are left behind after the blacks were put in, to be highlights, but also leaving some of the highlights open to a white sheen or shine, just leaving them blank, creating that shiny feel. Pretty straightforward there. The red portion of the uniform using I don't know, just again for the darker portions, using a big old fat feeble marker, just retracing those blacked out areas that were applied by pen and ink, and do that. Trace that out, and then crack open the appropriate red pencil, which in this case is a poppy red. Not that it fucking matters, but anyway, and just start brushing it in with the pencil, not pressing too hard because I don't want to obscure the inks underneath. So just applying something kind of a pastelish thing. This is not a recommended way of coloring, but I think I'm trying to demonstrate here some of the things that are possible with just stationary, normal supplies for the average dude that's just sitting there drawing, trying to learn his craft. Creating original art in the comic book industry means, it means just the art before coloration begins. But we're talking about just applying color to drawings you're doing at home, which aren't really meant for publication, right? But that's not the point. It's just to show what's possible. So with the reds, what I do is, because I also wanted to show the sheen from the bands on them, is after darkening out the blacks with the red marker, taking the pencil crayon and brushing it out, but also leaving some white soft areas of the rouge in there. So it gives, again, a feeling of modulated light on the material. It's a modulation process where the muscle bellies that are exposed here show slightness or a whiteness on the top of them, as in the bicep or in the tubey structure of the forearm musculature. I think you get me where I'm going with that. And that's it. That's basically it. And now that it's ready to be used for my purposes. I just wanted to wing something off, right, for the other project I was working on. And it just, as I was doing it, it just became something else. Plus, I'm sustaining an injury at the time, nursing something at home, and not a lot of mobility. It's getting better, I think. So it gave me time to do that and just goof off here. On one of the videos, I think there's a portion where I think it's the first one on this that the picture dropped away. I knocked it out of the way or something, and you can see me in the background on my couch, half naked. Well, I mean, my shirt off and stuff, just bagging it out, being a couch potato. But still, I was on the PC. Whatever. I don't have to bitch. I thought it was funny, but I thought, post it anyway. Whatever. What am I trying to hide? Anyway, so there you have it. That's it. And I'll use that in the project, and that's it. I'll get on with something else, and maybe we'll share that too. I think there's a couple other things I'm going to apply to that Marvel vid, including one of the female characters in Marvel's past, Elysius. We're going to get her in there. I'm going to render some sort of drawing. I don't know which way that's going to go, what I want to do with that. That'll be interesting too. That'll be fun. Maybe we'll put that up there too. Any other drawing? I think there might have been one other, but it's escaped me at the moment. But anything that's coming up, I'll try and post, whatever. I'm not going to be posting everything. That'll be just annoying. For example, when I was doing this one, I realized, because of the technique I was using to basically put this video up, it was annoying. It was like I wasn't going to be able to escape this screen or this filming until the goddamn thing was done. And I don't always want to be doing that. Like, I'll share the work or whatever, and I'll put it up there. I don't know what the point of showing the step-by-step was. I don't know how much that sort of thing, when I was watching other artists and I was trying to develop, I don't know how much that helped me. You know, you can see someone do it. But I think sometimes some of the things you mention as you're doing it, as the progress is going along, and some of the things you can tell them to keep in mind while they're doing it, those things are more helpful. Helpful or not, I hope it is to some people out there, but you know, I'm not holding my breath over that. I'm not qualified to teach. I'm still learning the craft myself, hammering it out. I think if I had stuck closer to it, I could have been further along. But whatever. Every time I do return to it, I noticed I jump ahead. It's like other things too. When you've been away from the weights for a while, and then you go back and hit them, you grow faster than your first, second, or third experience in. You know, that kind of thing. And art's not quite like athleticism. You know, doesn't require that your body be in tip-top whatever shape from your early 20s to 30s, I guess. That's the ideal. I'm not sure how they look at that. Some would say 23 actually would be your ideal. Or it's all downhill after 20, whatever. I don't want to talk about that now. But, yeah. So we'll put those up too. And we'll look at other things, and any problems I see with my work or things I had to learn that I think I should mention, I'll do that. Well, thanks for tuning in. But this is a straight off, I don't know, straight off the top of my head. I needed to get an idea for Marvell achieving cosmic consciousness, right? And I thought, I don't know, the three figure idea just hit me. I don't know why. I don't even know if that works exactly, but it doesn't seem to impose any problem there. But that's what I did with that. And, you know, it's all stationary supplies. Cheap paper, cheap markers, cheap everything, really. And, you know, the wrong stuff, too. You know, the wrong inking techniques, the wrong pens, and the wrong paper, as I said, and the wrong coloring process. But to show you that, you know, those things are one thing, and your computer is one thing. But you can render decent images with crap. And when I say crap, people, make no mistake, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, you know, look at this stuff. Okay, some of this is like dollar store Crayola garbage, okay, for some of the marker work. I'm telling you. That blue, for example, or the dark red, anyway. What I'm saying is, I don't actually, this isn't, I don't know why I would say this, but I'd say this. You know, you can have the best shit money can buy, but if you don't know your craft, forget about it, right? You know? That's, you know, it's not, that's harsh. But it's like, learn those fundamental things first. Be honest with yourself. And point out the flaws. The previous videos, I did exactly that. Why this drawing doesn't work for me, and why it could be better, and whatever. Now, many of the problems that came up, I fixed along the way. And that was something I was saying was important. But it also depends on what you can patch up on the fly. And that's exactly what I was doing here, because I didn't want to be dwelling on this. And you can cut corners. But if you're talking about, you know, eyesores and things that stand out like a sore thumb. You don't ignore those. And never tell yourself, you know, I see a flaw here. I hope they don't see it. Don't ever do that. Don't waste your time doing that. If you got the chance and you see it right there, and you're fortunate enough to see it right there, use your eraser and fix it and tweak it and move it around until it does work. You know, perfection shouldn't really be your concern. Hey, if it works out that way, that's great. But, you know, just tweaking things around until they work. And anyway, that's it for this. I'm glad to be rid of this. I'm sick of it. I'm sorry I stretched it out, but I went on a few rants about other things. And we'll let this go for now. And yeah, so you'll probably see this image in a future video. I don't know, maybe I'll put in some color in the background or something. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It's not really worth it, but yeah, there's nothing more to show concerning the process here. So we'll leave it at that, say goodbye for now, and be on to the next thing. Thanks for joining.